So we're a couple of days on from the match on Tuesday night against Solihull Moors. You said that obviously some things, tended to go quite well in both halves of the game. So now you've got a chance to reflect on it and watch it back. How do you feel now?
Listen, you always feel disappointed when you've lost 4-1, because supporters get disappointed at everything you do for them, of course. You don't want to embarrass the football club, 4-1 is too big a result against you at home. But when you're manager of a football team, you have to look at what went well as what didn't go so well. And we did allude to it, you're right, and I've confirmed it in my head that there was a lot of decent play. And if you watch the video without knowing what the score was take the goals out of it, which is obviously not normal, but then it was one of our better games. Now, some people are going to go, oh, for Christ's sake, get rid of him, he don't know what he's talking about. But you have to look at it that way sometimes. Now, we made mistakes, definitely. We didn't defend well, definitely. But we got into their final third and their penalty area more than they did us. And yet it didn't really feel like that on the day when they were getting the goals. But they showed the quality. They are a good team. They work hard. They're fit. They've got a big squad, so they can bring in Sabara, Dallas, Howe, and they're going for it. They've gone for it for the last 3 seasons now. So, as I said to you on the day, they are ahead of us in the project of getting a team to get into the league. When we look at our stats, they're important as well to us. That the boys put in a good work rate. A couple of them didn't play well on the day, so even though if they'd have done well, then we'd have broke our record for total distance run. I thought we worked hard, and I thought we kept our ball retention was better than it has been, even when we beat Halifax. When we, the 2 games we won, we didn't necessarily have against Southend the amount of possession that we had against Solihull on the day. So there were some things that we can say, okay, we can work from that. Now we just got to stop the goals going in on their chances, score more of our opportunities because we were creating more. Don't forget, the third one wasn't a penalty, in my opinion, because you see when you slide up, Ben Wyatt tackled him and the ball came back the way he tackled him. The ball didn't go forward and then he's then gone over. He's tackled him as the fella got the ball and the ball came back towards the side. So in my opinion that was the killer. And then the fourth one is always because we're trying to get a goal and we're a little bit out of shape and they're very good at transition. So and this team yet don't quite understand my intensity to score a goal. That sometimes you have to take a chance, but you have to believe you're going to score a goal. And I'm not sure that we had that intensity to the Gary time stuff yet in this group. But they're getting to work it out. But they haven't done yet, and that proved to me that they didn't have that ability in the last 10 minutes to really give it a proper go, and that takes an intensity and a quality when you're 3-1 down. But anyway, so that was how it went. Now we know there's things we've got to improve on. I still say I'm telling you, it's a young team. When Moxie went off, then there was only Dan Martin who hadn't played with it one, and I think one other, Ali, that had played just a few games for us last season. Everybody else is only 8 games into the way we play. So that's where we are, and you're going to get little bits of ups and downs. Now, I'd have expected us to have had a few more points, of course. But we keep going and we've got to keep improving because I've seen little shoots of play and mentality that he's getting better. So that's not me trying to save the job. That's me telling you the truth. And we are definitely showing signs of improvement. Cue all the supporters that are going to go, well, for Christ's sake, what's he on about?
One of the things that you just talked about, the number of games that players have been playing, obviously every game that goes past, they're getting more and more experience. One player that does seem to be coming into his own is Will Goodwin, 2 goals in 2 games. He's really starting to show up well, isn't he?
He is. I thought they worked very hard. You know, we were looking to press them, not give him the time, and I thought we did that really well. That was part of our plan on the day. Lad makes a mistake. Corey nicks it, and then he gave a good pass to Will, and it was a great finish. And both his finishes have been decent. He's worked hard as well, worked very hard. So you're right. You're always going to have like 3 or 4 that are coming through quicker than others, and then you hope that the others catch up. You know, a bit sharpish, because some of them have to do a little bit more than what they're doing at the moment. And unfortunately, Ace is on the bench, but couldn't really yet play in 90 minutes. You know, he's not far off now. Then you haven't got Lapsley. We didn't have Moxie in the second half. We haven't got Denellen. You know, these are the people. Jarvis, we were only able to play at the minute while he's building up his fitness. And they're all the lads that are your experienced lads. That, given that everybody's fit, you know, would probably be playing a lot more games than they are at the moment, because we're still trying to get them into game fitness, if you like. So we just have to do it gradually. But yeah.
One interesting statistics is actually away from home. Form has actually not been too bad. I saw 2 single goal defeats and 2 victories. Do you think that's just the way the fixtures have fallen? There's no real pattern there, or is there a reason why maybe the team has done better away from home than at home at the start of this season?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think we've been in most games. We've been in this game, but the game's won and lost in the penalty area, and it's won and lost with quality players that have been there, done it. You know, teams have paid money for them. You know, they're able to do that when you're in the middle of Birmingham with 1 million chimney pots around you, and you know that's how it is, and it makes it. That's always difficult for us, because we've been chasing a lot of players, more experienced players. We're doing this, that, and the other, and it's just impossible to get them to move. And so you have to go for the younger ones that that are happy generally to live in digs with 8 other people. You know, the older ones, we're lucky enough to have a few more apartments for those. But you know, we found some great players, but couldn't come. You know, didn't want to come for whatever reason. So it's that's always difficult. So you have to go with the group and keep improving them, and that's what we have to do. They don't come ready made. That's for sure. So I don't want to chuck out excuses and all that sort of thing. I'm just trying to tell you how it is, but you all know that.
And Saturday, a trip to Wealdstone, who have struggled in recent times, but have started this season very well. So that's going to be a test for you, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. Have they lost? I don't think they've lost this season. They've had quite a few draws, but they've got their own style. I know Stuart Maynard, the manager. He was a player at Watford when I was academy director there, and he played with my son. So he's got a good football brain. So it's always tactically you have to work it out, as we always try to. But it's a game, of course, we need to win. We don't want to get too far behind or dragged into any relegation battle come Christmas time. So we need to pick up points now. And what I've got to try and do with the lads today, when we have a review of the game, is be honest with them, tell them what they need to do to be better, get them to agree to it, get them to work at it, and then hopefully over a space of 3 days you can get your lads, all keyed up and ready to go because you haven't absolutely slaughtered them. Do you know what I mean? It's but they do know I'm honest, and I will tell them if they've been left out for whatever reason, and hopefully that'll help them in the short term and long term.